Hello, welcome, glad you're here. Hello, welcome, glad you're here, glad you could make it. I'm Dan, your friendly fishmonger. Welcome to another live stream. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Glad you could join us. And today we'll be doing our normal shipment report so everyone knows how shipping went this last week. And also, I'll be doing an import report and telling you what's coming in. It looks like the import's coming in next week. It's been confirmed, everything's set up. So as far as I know, it's kind of a sure thing. Now, nothing's really a sure thing these days, but I'll be going over that with you as well. And we'll be getting to the giveaway, giving away a massive clump of Java Moss today. So if you need some Java Moss, I've got you covered. Checking on volume here real quick and audio and all that. It might be a little hot. I'm going to turn it down just a tad, I think. Audio not good. Okay, how's that? Is that better? Darlene's tanks, are we good now? Sound is cracking. Okay, let me try the old unplug plug trick. Better now? Sorry folks, sometimes for no reason that I can figure out, every now and then the sound gets funky. So we have a crackle. Okay, do we still, after I unplugged and plugged back in, is it still crackly? Sorry folks, every now and then. Yep, this is the new mic. This is the same setup as before. Nothing's changed. Audio still spotty. Oh man. Okay. Hang on real quick. Audio mic. I think. Sorry guys, I gotta check a couple things. Yeah, that's set correctly. Okay, give me 1 second. And do one other thing here. Okay, is that any better? Hopefully it's crisp now. Let's see. It sounded like you were talking underwater. Oh, that's not good. Not good at all. Let's see here. If we have to, we will switch back to the old camera, but I'm hoping it works again. You know, we've had several where it worked just fine. And I haven't changed anything, but hopefully we're okay now. If I could get an audio check. Let's see. They'll tell me in a second. Let's see here. How are we doing audio-wise? Same spottiness. Jeez Louise. Okay, well, we're not going to spend hours trying to fix that like we did the first time it happened. I'm going to go ahead and switch. It's not going to be as pretty, this other camera, but it'll probably be clear. Alright, hopefully we're better. If folks could let me know, did that fix the problem? I'm hoping that that fixed the problem and that we're all better now. So let me know. Let me know. And then we can finally get the stream going. Sorry, everyone. This is a bad way to start. It's pretty bad TV, but hopefully we'll be through it in just a minute here. Hopefully this will have fixed it and we can just move on and have a good time. So it is what it is. I don't know what else to say. Turn it up maybe just a tad. Yeah, that fixed it. Good to go. Okay. Not sure why. Okay, let me get this old camera out of the way. Or the new camera, sorry, out of the way here. Otherwise, I will, out of habit, look at it instead of the old camera. Because the new camera is so big, it like just demands attention. Well, that's disappointing. Okay, we'll move on. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, gotta sink myself down. It's just that ugly insulation up there. Okay, we'll be a little blurry, but here we go. So, let's start again. Hey, welcome! I'm your friendly fishmonger, Dan. No. Okay, and now here we are. So, let me get to the shipment report. It was weird this week. I didn't ship this week. This is the first week in long time where I decided, oh, maybe I shouldn't ship. Because we had a really weird weather thing happen here, which is it got super cold and like snowy and stuff. I woke up this morning and it was 17 degrees outside, and it's getting colder than that in Casper. So it's like Old Man Winter took his finger and just poked it down the United States and tickled Wyoming, and Colorado, and Utah, and Montana, and North Dakota, and South Dakota, and a bit of Nebraska, and kind of up over by the Great Lakes. Kind of just tickled, and he'll pull his finger back in a couple days, so it'll heat up. But what that meant was this little sliver of the nation was very cold, including Wyoming, where I'm at, and the rest of the nation was really warm. So here it was cold, so I would have needed to put in a heat pack. In Casper, which is where the fish go, their next stop en route when I send them FedEx, it was even colder than here, so heat pack, right? Except for Memphis, Tennessee, where they would go after Casper, was in the 90s. So I couldn't figure out, okay, I can't put in a heat pack, because then when they get to Memphis, they'll overheat. And I can't send them without a heat pack because they'll freeze on my end. So really strange weather pattern. I just decided it'd be safer not to ship, because I couldn't figure out how to keep them at the right temperature with all those extreme temperature swings that they would be experiencing en route. So that's the path: Sheridan, Wyoming, to Casper, Wyoming, to Memphis, Tennessee, and then out wherever they get delivered. That's how FedEx overnight delivery works. So I don't really have a shipment report for you because I didn't really ship anything. So, yep. So let's get to the giveaway. I'll be giving away a bunch of Java Moss. If you'd like to enter that and perhaps win, hashtag Java. I done good, Candy, huh? Java. Hashtag Java to enter the giveaway. And later on in the stream tonight, we'll do a drawing, and I'll send you some free Java Moss. Pretty cool. Okay, the import coming. Looks like it's coming in next Friday. So Friday of next week I should receive it. And let me show you what I ordered. I want to give a big caveat here that I almost didn't share this, because what happens every time I share a list like this is I end up getting a whole lot of emails of people saying, could I reserve this and could I reserve that, and I'll prepay for this and that. And I think that's awesome. I appreciate the excitement. However, just know up front, I don't do any prepaid orders. I don't reserve fish or anything like that. Just because I ordered the fish doesn't mean they're actually going to arrive. So I don't want someone to pay for something and then it not even show up when the order finally lands. Or just because I order the fish and they do arrive doesn't mean they're going to arrive in good shape and be ready to sell anytime soon. Sometimes it can take weeks or months to get fish healthy and ready for sale. Not usually, but it can happen. And so I kind of just have this blanket rule of no pre-orders. So I'm going to share the list, but please don't email me and say, I'll prepay, I want that one, or anything like that, because I just won't do it. So it ends up wasting my time and your time. So just upfront, know that. So with that disclaimer, here we go. Here is the list of non-rainbow fish type fish that we're getting in. Some Apistos, some black rams, some more Corridors equus, a different species of cory altogether. It's like a panda cory, but with a flag tail. This other one, Gymnochanda filamentosa, let me show you this. This is so neat. Oh, I wasn't showing you any of this, was I? Sorry. Here's the list. In this one, I want to show you. It's a really neat glass fish, the Gymnochanda. Okay, so this is a pure freshwater glassfish. A lot of glassfish have to be in brackish to thrive. This does not. This comes from soft water, no salt or anything like that. And it's very small. I think it gets maybe 1.25 inches, something like that. And it gets the males get these really long, really cool filaments on their fins. The females do not. So let's see if we can find another. This is a pretty good picture here. So I'm bringing in a group of those because I think they're super awesome, and I've never seen them in person before, and so I want to bring them in. This Brachiogobius is the true freshwater bumblebee goby. So if you like bumblebee gobies but don't like having to keep a brackish water tank, these should do well for you. Then some really neat gobies, some different Sicyopus gobies. I'll let you guys do the Googling on there, but some amazing colors, some neat patterns, and as with all gobies, really neat behavior. Also, something I'm really excited about are these. The Mugilgobius are a species that are endemic to a single lake in Indonesia, and they're pure fresh water, and they're really, really cool looking. In fact, this one's worth a minute. Check this out. So here they are. Bright yellow goby. It should do well, just fine in pure fresh water. This one as well, really neat. Then another half-beak species. This is one that I tried to get last order, but it didn't come in, so I'm trying again. A couple of different species of rice fish. Just something completely different than we can usually get. I have some Matinensis right now that I got in the first order. They're actually doing well. They came in really bad shape. I didn't think any were going to make it. But I have 6 that have come through, fattened up, and I'm confident are going to be fine. So when I find a few minutes, I'll actually list them for sale. I've just been so busy, I haven't posted any new fish for sale in a while. And then some cool pipefish. Again, pure fresh water. This is why I'm not selling scuds anymore. I've been raising a whole bunch of scuds, so I have plenty of food for these guys. They're going to need live food when they first get in, and they will then be, you can kind of train them to eat frozen mysis shrimp and things like that. But when they first come in, it's super important to have tons of live food for them. So really neat pipefish, pure fresh water again. Hopefully they do well. This is a risky one. Pipefish are very delicate. I'm impressed with this supplier's shipping, so I was willing to risk it after seeing how well they did on the last shipment. But it's a gamble. One of the neat peppermint gouramis, which is a predatory gourami, so a gourami with a big mouth, neat species. And then a couple plecos. The plecos that I got in are doing fantastic. The people that I've sold them to, as far as I can remember, correct me here if I'm wrong, anybody, and forgot, but as far as I remember, they're doing great for everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and gamble a bit and try 2 different species, the black dragon cactus and the sunshine pleco. And then some Shodeni puffers as well. So that is what, oops, of course I wasn't even on the screen, sorry. Anyway, you guys have seen it. If not, you can pause it on the replay and see everything. So that's the list of fish that are non-rainbows that we're bringing in. And let's see, what else we got? Kayla's Aquatics is asking, any African black tetras yet? Unfortunately, no, not yet. So I spoke with my supplier in Nigeria a couple weeks ago now, I think, and it hasn't been long. I think 2 weeks is about right. And they're still shut down. The government still has the country shut down, so there's no flights leaving. At that time, they said maybe September, maybe October, but he said they've been saying that every month. Like last time it was maybe July, maybe August. So I don't know when Africa is going to come through for me. And that species I didn't see available this time from this supplier. Okay, let's get to the rainbow fish. And I'll kind of hit these really quick, and you guys can pause and look over them if you want to Google them or whatever. But the first one is just some Furcata rainbows. And by the way, I know some of these scientific names are outdated and all this. I'm just taking the supplier's list and pasting it here for you to see. I didn't correct anything or whatever. So, oh wait, I'm kind of to the side of the screen here because this is a new This is the other camera. Okay. Some more of the Atinjo Bosemani, because people really like those and been asking for more. Same with the Avas Creek. Some Tenalis, Pseudomugil tenalis. Herbold axoradi, which is one of the prettiest rainbows ever. A new species of Pseudomugil from Collection Point Mimica. Some Luminatus, some Ivant Saphi, some Gertrude from Decay. Lots of people wanted those. Those sold out super fast, and a lot of people missed out, so I'm bringing more in for those folks. Pseudomugil signifer, but from a specific collection point called Gap Creek. Pseudomugil paluticola. Those, again, sold out like within a day, I think, and a lot of people missed out. So trying to get some more of the Pseudomugils. And then I'll just kind of let you guys look at all these Glossolepis and Chilotharina and Melanotania and stuff. And in a second I'll scroll down and you can see the rest rather than read out all the names. Okay, so that's first group. Let me go down here. This should be, yeah, that's the second group right there. So I'll just leave it there for a moment so you guys can catch up. I am trying to get some more Galaxy Rasboras, and I brought in Celebes rainbows because these are wild caught from a collection point. So I'll find out what the collection point is exactly and should be able to get you some, nice specific Celebes rainbows instead of the traditional kind of mix of locations we have in the hobby available right now. So that is what is coming in. I think Friday. Pretty darn sure. As sure as I can be that it'll happen Friday. Also, this weekend something cool is happening. So, by the way, that's Friday of next week, the 17th. This weekend, the 13th, I'm going to have the Fish Fam KOA Fish Fam camping group here. So I'm excited to meet all you and see you folks again and catch up with everybody and hang out. So I'll be cooking for you. We'll have some, hopefully the weather's nice. If the weather's nice, I'll do some barbecue for you and we'll have a nice spread outside and you guys can go hang out in the fish room and I'll give you a tour and all that. If the weather's bad, then we'll just cram into my living room, I guess, and order pizza. I don't know, but I'm excited to see you this weekend. I think, looking at the weather, I think we're going to warm up kind of by this weekend, so hopefully it won't be so cold and stuff, and hopefully it's still, people are still coming. The weather was weird this week, but I think we'll have an okay weekend, so hope to see you. And I think for now, that's all I've got. So I'm about to turn over to your questions and comments and try to respond to everybody that has a question for me. To do that, what I need is for you to type @DansFish so that it highlights for me in this nice bright orange box that you see in the chat over here. Because that's what I look for when I'm looking for comments to reply to. I just look for bright orange boxes and I skip pretty much everything else because a lot of what the other stuff is just folks chatting among each other and having conversations among themselves, and I don't want to read for 5 minutes looking for a comment directed at me. So I typically only look at the highlighted things unless my eye happens to catch your non-highlighted question or comment. So that's how we manage the chat. Also, posting your question or comment multiple times over and over is not going to get me to get to it any quicker. It's just going to annoy my mods and they'll put you in timeout. So I'll go down the chat, and when I get to your question or comment, I'll respond to it. If for some reason I've passed your question or comment and I have not responded and I legitimately missed it, like chat jumped on me and I didn't see it or something, then feel free to post it again. But please don't just spam the chat over and over again with your question or comment, because we've been getting that a lot, so mods will be on the lookout for that and might be putting people in timeout that do that. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to scroll up and try to get to as many people as I can tonight. DC Kyle says good to go. Audio is good. Cool. Yes, we fixed it. Sorry, the first couple minutes are going to be a little boring for those watching on the replay, but you already know that by now. So, Michael Brandel, how is the weather going to affect the company once you're fully up and running? Do you expect periods that no shipping will occur due to weather in your area? I don't think so. Cold weather is typically not a problem for me. So I almost always ship even when it's really cold because I have the proper insulation and heat packs and equipment to do that. It's only a problem when a freak thing happens like this did, where just a small portion of the country is cold, my portion, and everywhere else is hot. Because when that freak thing happens, there's no way to stabilize temperature of the fish. I think since 2011 when I moved here, from California, it was quite a shock weather-wise, but I think since 2011 when I moved here, I can count on one hand the number of days when I haven't been able to ship due to weather. So it might happen very occasionally, but I don't think it'll happen any more than you would experience typically in other parts of the nation. This is going to sound a little weird, but I actually consider living in a cold part of the country generally to be an advantage. Here's what I mean by that. If I live in Florida and I'm trying to sell fish online and it gets to be the fall and up in Michigan it's really cold, but in Florida it's still super hot, it's difficult to ship because I can't put in a heat pack because the fish will bake on my side until they get out of Florida. And I can't put in a cold pack because then the fish will freeze when they get to, say, Michigan or wherever. So if you live in the South and you're trying to ship to the North during the cold periods, when you're still warm, that's a real conundrum. That's hard to figure out. But I'm typically colder than the rest of the nation. There's very few places colder than me. Let's just say there are a few. So typically what that means is if I'm shipping somewhere cold to somewhere, from somewhere cold to somewhere a little warmer, I can just put in a smaller heat pack that doesn't heat as much and burns out quicker. So usually I can do that. I couldn't do that in this case because the temperature difference was really high. It's usually not like that. Usually Memphis isn't like 90 degrees when I'm down at 17 degrees. That almost never happens. So usually I can put in a cold pack and it's fine here and it's fine a heat pack and it's fine here and fine in Memphis. So it's easier to ship from cold weather to warm weather places than vice versa. So that's my long-winded way, Michael, of answering your question. The other problem with this weather system is cold to Memphis, and then lots of the packages were going to go back to cold areas. Michigan was pretty cold, that whole section around the Great Lakes. Utah was cold. And so how do you plan for a fish that's going to bounce from cold to hot to cold? So yeah, it was a little tricky. And people were the weather people were like, this could be really bad, things could be shut down. It just didn't seem like a smart time to ship. But again, almost never happens. Orange Cones, thank you for caring about the fish. Oh, you're welcome. I just assume that everyone that is like in this stream or on YouTube watching fish videos or whatever kind of cares about fish. Otherwise, what are we doing here, right? So yeah, of course, I don't know how to do it any other way, and I assume everyone here kind of is the same. So thanks to all of you for caring as well. And I mean that. The more you care, the more other people get interested and are helped out, and the more the hobby thrives. And when the hobby thrives, the industry thrives, and my business thrives. So, the novice aquarist. Do you ever get rainbow shiners? I can't locate any. I have a sad tale about rainbow shiners. Yes, I can get them in. I did on the last import. They came in great, and they were great. And I was just about to list them for sale, and they got something in my tanks. I think it was a little bit of ick. No problem. I'll just keep them for a couple weeks longer and treat the ick and make sure they're okay. Okay, so that was the plan. So I did that. Went to list them again, and I think I actually did list them for a little while. And then saw something like one of them was just acting a little strange. So what was it? Like it didn't go right for the food, something, I can't remember exactly, but one of them was acting a little strange. So I got in there and I looked and I saw this protozoan. You can't really see it as a thing. You can kind of just tell a tiny little sheen. So some kind of protozoan on this fish. So I was like, oh, I guess I can't sell them yet. So I moved them back out of the inventory. Luckily, I hadn't sold any yet. Noticed before I sold any. And did my best to treat them. It would kind of go away and come back and go away and come back. So there were like 3 or 4 times when I was about ready to list them, and then it would come back. So finally, not being able to treat it by the normal medicines, which would be things like ICX and Prozi, things like that, I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. This obviously isn't working. So I tried a copper treatment because they were to the point where either they were going to start dying off in large numbers if they didn't get treatment, if I didn't figure it out, or the copper would work. Unfortunately, I tried the copper. It didn't work. I lost them all. So I did try to get rainbow shiners for you guys, and I don't think it's the supplier. I think there was something in that tank that they were super sensitive to, and I just couldn't figure out how to treat it in time. So I tried, and I'm sorry, and I hate having to say that. That's one of the fish that I got the most emails about and comments about, that people were most excited about. And I was excited to give them to you because that's a fish I've kept and bred in the past and I really like. But it didn't work out this time. So I will try again. Probably next time I bring an order in from this supplier, because I don't think this was their fault. I think this one was on me somehow. I just had no clue. Because the fish that, they quarantined and everything, and then the fish they were with had been great in that tank for months. So I thought they'd all get along and be fine, but it didn't work. So if you want to locate some of the novice aquarists, I would suggest Sachs Aquaculture, S-A-C-H, I think, Aquaculture, or Jonah's Aquarium. The nice thing about Sachs Aquaculture is he used to have, and maybe he still does, I just haven't looked in a long time, he used to have the Cahaba strain, which is one of the prettiest. So they're worth checking out. Danica Aquatics, all the fish that were there when I visited were top-notch, very healthy, and amazing. Dan loves his fish. Thanks, Danican. This must be Ken, because Danny hasn't been here yet. I think she's coming this weekend. So, yeah, I mean, I try. But there's always that, I haven't broken it down to a percentage, because I just haven't done that math yet, but there's that, every now and then something happens, and what can you do? Like, you do your best. And it's a bummer, especially when it's something everybody wants, but it is what it is sometimes. Kayla's Aquatics, oh, already got that one about the black African tetras. Zach Billings, want to do a cool water hill stream tank. Any good goby for that? Yes. I have to be honest with you. These are new species for me. All these different Sicyopusses and stuff. I don't think that one is a good one. I don't think the Mugalagobius would be a good one to do that way. But I would, if I was you, I'd look up these Sicyopus species. Or Sicyopterus, this one. And check their temperature tolerance. I'm not familiar enough with them. I've never kept most of these species of gobies, so I can't really tell you. I do have some Rhinogobius that would be excellent for a cool water tank. I have Rhinogobius rubro maculatus right now, and I have some white-cheeked Rhinogobius as well. I think it's Duosphyllus, if I remember the species name correctly. Something like that. One of the white-cheeked species. So the rubro maculatus are on the website. They're amazing. They're pretty rare and hard to come by, so they're a little pricey. The white cheeks I have not listed yet, so if you want them, feel free to email me for the white cheeks if you want some, and I'll decide on a price. I I've just been too busy to list fish. I've been meeting with a lot of investors. I met with an investor today. We're rocking and rolling on that front. I'm not ready to announce anything yet, but let's just say that I'm meeting with the draftsman tomorrow to get the plans drafted and everything, because I think we're going to be ready to take a spade to the dirt pretty quick here and make something happen. Things are moving, but I don't want to go in more than that because there's some signatures still required, some things that are still up in the air a bit, but it's going better than I could have hoped. Let's put it that way for now. So, with all those meetings with potential investors and with contractors and with the doing this whole big project, I just haven't had a moment to list new fish, so I'm sorry about that. Isaac Cornstubble, any Apistos anytime soon? Not from this supplier. So this supplier doesn't breed their own Apistos. They buy them from local breeders around them, and I tried a couple species. They didn't do great, and I'm still waiting for some of them to be ready to sell all this time later, so I didn't order any more Apistos. I'll get more in, but not from this supplier. What I found with this supplier is anything that they breed themselves, which is a lot of stuff, or anything that they collect themselves, in general did really, really well. Actually, most of the stuff did really, really well. But whoever their cichlid breeder is, they don't agree with my aquariums. It's not something I want to keep doing. So I'll try with another supplier. Color Guppies, can you get the Emerald Dwarf Danios? Emerald Dwarf Danio, is that Axelradi? Is that the one you're talking about? Let me see here. Let's take a look. Emerald Dwarf. Oops. Let's do this together. Oops. I don't know how to Google. Emerald Dwarf. Rasdora. Oh, are you talking about Erythromycon? Yes. I can get Erythromycon. I don't generally do it, though, because I have a couple times, and they've done okay. It typically takes them a long time to recover from shipping and get ready to sell. One reason is they come in with really pinched bellies. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen, sorry. And another reason is that fish comes from a place with really hard alkaline water. And my water's generally pretty darn soft, so I think my water's a little difficult on them. So I don't tend to order them even though I can get them in. I just think it makes more sense for someone with the water they love to get them, because it'll be so much easier for them to recover from import. So now, good news is this new warehouse we're building, I will have access to harder water there. So I should be able to bring in a variety of things, not just softer water stuff. Okay, orange cones. How come my fish boxes are not highlighted in red? Well, that one was. I see it. It's not red, it's orange, but yeah, that's working. There are some, like when I do that on my Android phone, for some reason it doesn't highlight. There are some devices that it just doesn't work with. Rockford Fish Keeping, many new Limia babies when you have them for sale again, so I can't get more. You gotta breed your own so you don't keep buying them. That's like my mother-in-law did this thing where there was this plate of cookies, and a little while later all the cookies were gone. I was like, why did you eat all the cookies? So they stopped tempting me. It's like the same thing. Why are you breeding so many Limia? So I don't have to buy more? That's funny. Granted Guy, have you seen the Phase 22 cryo packs? They work great for shipping reptiles, keep the cool temps. Yeah, 73 to 78. You can preheat or pre-cool them. So I have seen them, I'm familiar with them, and I've tried them and they didn't work well for me. So they work great for herps, because you're not putting reptiles and stuff in water, right? So it's a lot easier for a cryopack to keep atmosphere, air, temperature stable than water. Water has a pretty high specific heat, and it takes a lot of energy to keep water warm or to cool it off, to change its temperature. So what happens I found with the cryopacks with fish is they just don't have the oomph to combat the specific heat of water. Now, I think they work fine in really mellow weather situations, but any time where it's really cold outside, they don't keep the heat, and when it's really hot outside, they don't keep the cold. That's what I experienced, and I did lots of tests with them, and would measure temperatures after a certain amount and certain temperatures, ambient temperatures and all that, and it just didn't work. I like the idea, but I think they're better for reptiles than fish. Ozzy Soto, Dan, will my harlequin rasibores lay eggs on other plants than anubias? Sure. Yeah. When fish are feeling randy, there's really no stopping them, like especially rasibores and tetras and stuff. So they'll breed on swords, they'll breed on, I mean, I've seen them breed on like a piece of plastic in an aquarium just because there was nothing else, and their instincts were saying now, right? So they don't have a lot of impulse control. They'll go wherever. I've had tetras spawn on bare glass. Like fish like that will generally spawn when conditions are they'll generally spawn where they can. Victoria Artis, hey, look at that, $5. Thank you so much. Always great to catch a stream. Thanks, Dan. I've been getting a tank ready for which one? Indian mud skippers. Any idea where I might be able to get them from? The only place that I know of that's had any recently was Exotic Aquatics. Priscilla MK Art had some. I don't know if they were Indian or African. I think they were Indian, because those are the smaller ones, if I remember right. But no, I honestly don't know of anyone that has any available. But I saw some at her store a little while ago. And it was so cute. It like jumped in her hand. I filmed a video when I was there. I just haven't had a chance to edit it and get it out. Thanks. One day. Okay. John Cox. And any dance fish and any other. I got a mystery fish from an LSF. I asked for 3 pygmy cories and I got 2 and this fish. I raised bettas before, and once it colored up, I thought it was a juvenile betta. Cool. I mean, not cool that you didn't get what you bought, but cool if you got a betta out of the deal. If you want to post some pictures at the Get Gills Facebook group, then I'm sure a lot of people will chime in and help identify it for you if we know what it is. John Kopp, it has an upper and midline brownish stripe, but now has a blue eye. Any ideas? I need a picture or video, John. A clear picture or video. I can't do it off a description. Darren Atia. That's what I'm going with. Darren Atia. Hi, Dan. I know this. I know that name. That I read it all the time on Get Gills. Datine F1? I probably butchered it. I apologize. Can I do a giveaway as well? Yes, absolutely. What would you like to give away? And as long as there's no expense to the winner, we can throw it on and do 2 giveaways tonight. That would be great. So let me know what you want to do. And as long as you're willing to ship it for free to whoever wins, let's do it. That sounds good. That's always fun when that happens. And by the way, congrats on your store on Get Gills. I see some action there, so. All right, chat jumped. I'm just scrolling. Okay, hang on. Finding it. Almost there, and wait, so sorry to hear you hurt yourself, Pam. Did Punchy Paints get injured? I'm pretty behind. I've been overwhelmed, honestly, with fundraising, the import, and just keeping up with what I have to do, but I'm so sorry to hear that if that's what happened. Orange Cones, if I help you list things, will you fill up my 40-gallon breeder with chili rasboras? You know, I did list them and they sold out pretty quick. I mean, we have a few left, but they're almost gone. Isaac Cornstubble, I'm on a hunt right now for an Apisto, more preferably hunting for some Agassizii. Gotcha. If anyone here has Apistogramma agassizii, would you let Isaac Cornstubble know? And let's just check, get gills, because often that's one that we can find. Well, I'll just do Apisto. Hongsley, Viejita, McMasteri, Cockatoides. Oh, nope. Well, I'm sorry, I don't have any at this time that I can help you out with. Okay, Chandra Sakar, what frozen food do you use for fish tanks? Oh, frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp, frozen mysis shrimp. When I have a big boom of fruit flies for my cultures, I'll feed fruit flies and I'll freeze fruit flies. Talking's hard. I will freeze fruit flies and feed them. I'll do the same with excess baby brine shrimp I hatch, things like that. But I'd say it's mostly mysis shrimp. Freshwater PE mysis is the one I like. It's a pure freshwater mysis shrimp, and it's fairly small. Compared to a lot of mysis, it's fairly small. Brine shrimp and bloodworms. Now, I will say something about the brine shrimp and bloodworms, which is, I've found over the years that Hikari is the best brand. I say that because they just tend to have a higher quality product. I always thaw the frozen food before I feed it to my fish, so I'll put it in a bucket of water and let it thaw out, and I'll rinse it out a couple times before I feed it to my fish, because I don't want to dump all that gunk in the tanks, right? And I've just noticed that Hikari, they thaw out in a rinse or two, they're done. San Francisco Bay and lots of the other brands I've tried, I'm continually rinsing and it takes forever for the water to clear. So I would recommend Hikari if you're looking for a brand. And I'm not paid to say that. I have no deal with them or anything. It's just over the years, that's what I've noticed. I am Sugar Hill. Please clarify something for me. Are scuds good at controlling hair algae? Yes. Scuds will eat every kind of algae that adheres to a surface, as far as I've seen. Now, there might be some kind of algae that I haven't had in my tanks yet, but any kind of surface algae that attaches to something, that I've had in my fish room, the scuds will eat. They will not eat green water because it's not attached. It's just free floating microorganisms in the water column. But everything else, as far as I know, I mean, has anyone here encountered an algae that scuds wouldn't eat for you? I'd be interested in knowing that. But yeah, they eat everything as far as I can tell. Oh, I meant, why are my boxes you ship out to me not highlighted in orange, says Orange Cones. It's because you didn't put Add Dan's fish when you ordered. They didn't turn orange. What can I tell you? Igor Anonymous. Yes, because I screwed it up last week, I think. If you can get Apisto I was going to say Hongsley, but Hongnii? Me and Cyclist23 have been searching for them. Let me look at that. So, I will say there are several Apistos. Okay, it's not, I'm trying to grab it to copy it, but it won't let me. Apistogramma Hoganei? That's one I'm just not very familiar with. Oh, yes I am, now that I see the picture. Yeah, yes. Yes, these are gorgeous. Now, I can get several Apistos from suppliers in South America, but that's probably going to have to wait till the warehouse is up and running before I attempt something like that. So Apistos are... Here's one reason you don't get Apistos a lot in the hobby. There's very few, first of all, that are bred in any quantity. You've got McMasteri, you have Cockatoides, you have Agassizii, you have Borellii, maybe a couple more species that are bred in quantity. So they're available. But the other reason is Apistos are pretty aggressive to each other, a lot of species. And so if you bring in a bunch of Apistos and you put them in a tank, in a few days you can have a bunch of torn up Apistos. It doesn't always happen, but there are a lot of species that are pretty darn aggressive. And so I think that's one reason that they're just not as available, because if someone's going to bring in a box of Apistos, they better have a lot of tanks to spread them out in, a lot of decor in the tanks and hiding places and light of sight blocks and all that. The ones that are mass produced in captivity can still be like that, but not nearly as much, because they've been raised in captivity so many generations that they're a little more mild. But it is difficult to bring in groups of Apistos and house them in a way that they're going to be okay and do well until the time they're sold. So they can be a little tricksy. T-Shot, are you still thinking about putting some electric blue Akaras in the tank behind you? Yes, I decided I'm going to do it, and I've been decided for a few weeks now. And every time I walk by the the electric blue Akara tank, I'm like, I got to grab some of those, but I'm busy, and I'm like, I'll do it as soon as I finish this thing, and I just haven't got to it. But yeah, I think I'm going to put about 6 of them in here. I'll try for 3 males and 3 females. They're a little hard to sex for me, but I'll try, see what happens. I think they'll kind of round that tank out nicely. Karen K, have you heard of guppies harassing apple snails? Mine love to pick at the snails. Yeah, so guppies aren't mean, but they're so over inquisitive that they'll harass just about anything eventually. Yeah, yes, the little antenna that stick up, they're just so curious. They'll nibble. Steve the biologist, well, I now know what word I'm using for my seminar on genetic modification. When the fish are feeling frank. What would Frank Gallagher do? T-Shot, congrats on your success, well deserved, keep it up. Yeah, we're rolling. Like, I can't get too far into the details, and there's still a possibility at this stage, when the ink's not dry, that the next week I could be like, oh, never mind, it all fell through, right? So I don't want to get into too much of it, but things are moving. I'm very excited, and I should keep it there. And until I shouldn't say anything more until certain things are solidified. But thank you. Yes, I couldn't be happier with how it's gone over the last few weeks. Okay. Caitlin Harris, any idea why there seems to be a shortage of Pea Puffers? My LFS has been having trouble getting them ordered. Caitlin, there's been a shortage of fish in general. And okay. Blaming things on COVID has become so trite and cliche these days that it's almost painful to say this. But in this case, it's true. In my own experience, bringing fish in is pretty difficult. There are so few flights coming in still, like due to the COVID-19, right? And all the restrictions and people not traveling as much and all that. So here's how we get our fish, especially Pea Puffers. I don't know anyone in the United States, including the Florida farms, correct me if I'm wrong, but no one that I know of is breeding Pea Puffers on a commercial scale in the United States. So we have to get them from breeders overseas or collectors, preferably breeders. There are people breeding them in quantity. So that means that we have to import them. Here's how fish get to us when we import. A bunch of people get on a plane, right, and decide to fly to the United States from Indonesia or Thailand or India or whatever, okay? There's space under that plane where they ship cargo. If people are not flying to the United States, there's no planes moving for the cargo to go on. It's not like when you import fish that there's this separate airplane for just cargo that they go in and they're shipped that way. No, it's people are traveling and the cargo moves with the people. So now that so few people are traveling and there's so few flights, there's a lot of demand, like a lot of people are trying to get their goods moved, and very, very little supply. So what we have to do is bid. So we place a bid saying, I want to ship these fish this date, this is my bid. If someone comes in and says, I'll pay more, and puts in a higher bid amount, you can't go. You have to wait till the next time. And yeah, there's just so few things, so few vehicles moving around the world, and so many things that need to get on those vehicles that it makes it difficult. So I think I can truly say that a lot of people are having trouble getting fish because there's so few flights because of COVID right now. Punchy Paints, yes, I fell down like an idiot. Arm either sprained or broken. Oh, Pam, I'm so sorry. Well, I hope you heal up soon, and I hope I can still see you this weekend. If not, I understand. Like, do what you got to do to get better, but I'll be super bummed if I miss you this weekend because you felt like an idiot. So insensitive. I couldn't resist. No, I hope you get better soon. Jeffrey Cunningham, favorite places to buy frozen food online? Well, it used to be Dr. Foster's and Smith. I don't have a favorite place that's open to the public anymore. I used to be able to buy frozen food at Dr. Foster's and Smith for comparable rates to what I could get them wholesale, and I liked Dr. Foster's and Smith, so I supported them and bought my fish food there. My frozen food, usually. I would say that you could try Ken's Fish. Ken's Fish used to have a ton of reliable, high-quality frozen food, and I bought lots from them. Then it got a little weird. They started expanding in other areas, and they started running out of stock and all that. Now they're focused back, so I haven't bought a lot of frozen food from Ken's Fish recently, but if it's anything like it used to be, then it was a pretty good company to work with at the time. Okay, I'm scrolling because chat did its jumpy jumps again, and okay, just a moment. Looking for Pam's comment so I know where I'm at. Okay, sorry again, Pam. Hope you heal up soon. Jeffrey Cunningham, favorite places to buy frozen foods online. I just did that one. Aaron, on the hunt for multis, any ideas? Yeah, I think there's multis right now on Get Gills. There were recently. Let's see. What is that? Multifasciatus? I'll just do multi. Yeah, so there are, looks like 412 cichlids has plenty for sale. So check them out. Okay, Montana AIDS. Would you say wimple piranhas are still a relatively rare fish? I would say that you don't see them in people's tanks very often. When I think of a fish as being rare, I think of it as a fish that I have to hunt to find a supplier for. Yeah, I would say relatively rare. I don't see them on supply lists very often. So I think that's a correct statement, depending on your, your definition of rare. But yeah. DC Kyle, are there any plans for bringing in more varieties of killifish? Yes, that's one reason I placed a large import with Nigeria. Unfortunately, due to COVID, I haven't been able to receive it yet. But killifish are my true passion, my first love. And I'm working hard to get more in. When Africa is shut down, it's kind of hard to get killifish. I mean, there's a few species I can get from South America and things, but what people really want are mostly Aphyosemians, Fundulopanchax, things like that. So we're talking about West African species. And right now it's not moving. So I do try, DC Kyle. I'll keep trying. New Mexico Aquatics, please discuss how you keep and propagate your Java moss. How do you keep algae from destroying it, Little Bobby? Okay, good question. So in general, I haven't over the years had problems with Java moss. Every now and then they'll get an infestation of algae. And I don't know what always causes it. And when it happens, I just take my clump of Java moss, I put it in my scud tank. The scuds eat all the algae, I take the clump of Java moss, put it back in the aquarium, the fish eat the scuds, right? But that doesn't happen all that often. I think the secret is to have something that uptakes a lot of nutrients. So what I do is I have water sprite floating on the top of the aquarium. Water sprite grows super quick, sucks up a ton of nutrients, and generally, not always, but generally outcompetes algae. So water sprite helps keep a tank algae free. Then I have the Java moss on the bottom of the aquarium. Java moss does not need a lot of light, and it doesn't need a ton of nutrients. So it kind of just sits there under the water sprite and grows slow and steady. And because the water sprite is uptaking so many nutrients, we're not getting a ton of algae issues. So that's kind of how I do it. But every now and then, algae will happen, and that's what I use the scuds for. So now if you keep Java moss in with the scuds too long, they will absolutely munch it down till it's little strings with no leaves on it. But that takes quite a long time. So if you put it in there for a few days, they'll have cleared off the vast majority of the algae and you can put it back in your tank. T-Shot, how do you sex electric blue Akaras? Well, they're not very sexually dimorphic, so it's kind of difficult. But males get bigger and generally have longer streamers on them, and that's how I tell. So nothing really 100% accurate that I know of. If someone else has a tried and true, like here's how you know for sure method, please let us know. But for me, I just go off kind of size and look for long streamers on the dorsal fin. Rockford Fish Keeping, what do you think of little red riding hood shrimp? The Davidii? So isn't that a cherry shrimp? Let me look. And there's so many different ones. Hang on, I don't know a ton about shrimp, but let me make sure that I know what we're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, so Davidii is the shrimp that cherry shrimp and all the other ones, I believe, is made out of. So I like them. I don't know the little red riding hood variety of that shrimp or breed or color morph or whatever you want to call it, but cherry shrimp in general are fantastic. When you have trouble keeping shrimp alive and breeding them and stuff, generally if you go back to cherry shrimp, you'll be okay. So as long as they haven't been super inbred to get that red riding hood color and therefore have degraded or whatever, I would think they'd probably be as hardy as a normal cherry shrimp. But I know nothing about shrimp, so if they're like $100 each and I just told you that so you went and bought them, don't do that. HC Aqua, for your betta fortier, what is the color of the males in breeding dress? So the males get, I would call it maroon in breeding dress with those bright gold operculum stripes on their operculum. So let me see if I can find a picture that represents what I see when they color up in my tanks. So what I thought they would be like was this kind of blue-green color. They're not like that for me, not this strain. They look like this a lot, but this is one that isn't colored up or anything and is probably feeling stressed. When they settle in, I'm not really seeing one that looks like mine. Shoot. Well, I might have to describe it. When they settle in, they look a lot like this, and they do have some of the blue iridescence, but what comes through mostly is like a maroon color on the body and fins next to that operculum. And this operculum isn't showing. Let's see if I can find one that actually, yeah, like the operculum really is nice and bright. This I think has been color touched up a little bit, but something like this where it's kind of, you can really see it from far away. It does get like that. So that against the maroon looks really nice. So I guess that's the best way I can answer that, since I can't really find a picture that is similar to mine. I'm not sure why. One Dirty Platty. I love that name. Any ideas? Any idea how to sex a panda gara? No, as a juvenile. I'm sorry. I don't know how to sex them when they're little. Chattanooga Ed. Uh-oh, here we go. punching me in the face with a $5 fox cat. Ed, good to see you. Thanks so much. Darren, hi Dan. I'd like to give away a pair of albino Millennium rainbow fish. Oh, that's awesome. Should have made that the thumbnail. I love that fish. These are fantastic. Okay, I'm sure people know what they look like, but in case you don't, we're talking about these. They are bright and beautiful. I love them. I've always liked them. Most fish I don't like as well in the albino form. These are an exception. They look really nice in the wild form, but in the wild form, but in the albino form, like they're, look at that. They glow like the sun. I think that is an amazing giveaway, Darren. Those aren't cheap either, so thank you so much. A pair, I'm assuming male and female, albino Millennium rainbow fish. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it right now. We're going to give those away right now. So, the first winner tonight, and I'll do the Java Moss later, but the winner of a pair of albino Millennium rainbow fish provided by Darren. Thank you so much. Let me, yeah, we'll do the winner, then I'll show your store. To thank you for doing that, is Jeff Chambers. Awesome. I couldn't think of a nicer guy for this to happen to. Jeff Chambers, you have won a pair of albino Millennium rainbow fish. Now, I know that folks that entered were expecting Java Moss, not rainbow fish. So Jeff, if you don't have tank space or you just can't take them or it's not going to work for you, let me know. In that case, you'll be the winner of the Java Moss, and we'll do the albino Millennium pair later. So you've won the albino Millennium rainbow fish if you can take them. If you can't, then you've won some Java Moss. So just let us know and we'll make that happen for you. Let's see if Jeff is here. Come on down, Jeff. I hope you're here. Jeff has been attending for a long time, so it's really nice when I see someone subscribed since May 3rd, 2018. Yeah. Year and a half-ish. Well, a year and a few months. So it's nice when I see someone that's been around a while. Yeah, no thanks. I really wanted the moss. Okay, so Jeff Chambers, you have won the moss. I will send that to you. And we'll do a different giveaway for the albino Millennium rainbow fish. So hang on, let me get a pen. So that the next drawing will only be someone who really wants the Millennium rainbow fish. Jeff Chambers. Hang on, let me... Staring at text, that's no fun. Jeff Chambers. Not that my face is much better. One Java Moss. I've got a big clump to send you. Okay, cool. So, let's get back to giveaways. Thanks so much, Jeff. That's awesome. So now, let's see here. We'll do... No, we'll just do rainbow. So now, if you would like to win the albino Millennium rainbow fish, if you type in hashtag rainbow, RAINBOW, then we'll draw those a little later, and we'll know that that's what that you are able to take them and all that, because you'll have entered with that hashtag instead. That'll make it a little clearer. Darren, again, thank you. I think that's an amazing giveaway. I see that Aaron left a super chat, but as... Oh, good. Nope. I see it's $1.99. Thank you. I can't read a comment or see a picture or anything yet, so I'll get to you in a bit. Sorry about that. Just sometimes YouTube acts up. Okay. Oh, there it is. $1.99 with a thumbs up. Well, thank you. Right back at you. I appreciate the super chat. Always appreciated. Never required, but it does make the wife super happy. Chandra Sakar, do you like Furin 2 instead of Metro from Fitz? No, I don't like it instead. That's like comparing apples and pineapples. Two completely different medicines for completely different things. So it's not that I like one better than the other. It's that if I'm treating certain kinds of parasites and things, I'll use Metro. If I'm treating, say, gram-negative bacteria, then I'll use nitrofurazone, which is the ingredient in Furin 2, mixed with kanamycin. So that's generally my start for an antibiotic. And from there, sometimes it doesn't work and I have to trying something else. But I found Furin 2, or not Furin 2, the brand necessarily, but nitrofurazone, which is the active ingredient in Furin 2, unless I'm vastly mistaken. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but anyway, nitrofurazone mixed with kanamycin to be a very good antibiotic for gram-negative bacteria. In Metro to work for several different parasites and protozoans and things. So one's not better than the other, they're completely different. So it's kind of like saying, is penicillin better than Advil? Well, they treat totally different things. Like penicillin will treat an infection and Advil will help with, I don't know, joint pain or something. So, yeah. Alrighty. How big do the rainbows get? Millennium rainbows? At least 4 inches. Do they go to... they get 5 or 6? Off the top of my head, I don't know. Does anyone here have a big, full-grown Millennium rainbow? Could you tell us how big it got? I'm guessing 5 inches, but... the thing with me is, often when I keep fish, I'm keeping them to sell, and so I usually sell them before they've been here for 3 years and got, you know, super big. There's a few exceptions, like the big roseline barb and a couple other things, but most things I sell out before I experience them in all their full-grown glory. Tree LTD, so many dangerous predators in the Amur River in Russia would cause a lot of damage to our native waterways. Yeah, I mean, they could take our cold temperatures for sure. Yep. Fishkeeper Ali, any suggestions on keeping Corydoras catfish eggs? So Ali, I have an entire video on breeding and raising catfish. So I'd refer you to that, to Corydoras. It takes you through from spawning to collecting the eggs from the aquarium to incubating the eggs to raising the fry until they're about, I don't know, half an inch or so. So it's a long series video. So take a look, and then if you have questions after viewing that, let me know. Okay, so I forgot to mention Jeff Chambers. If you would just send me an email with your first and last name and your mailing address and say I won the Java Moss, then I'll send that to you. Probably send it out on Tuesday for Wednesday arrival. Or it's a plant, I might ship it a little slower. Plants can go. The plants don't have to be overnight, but I'll respond and get that all taken care of. Rockford Fish Keeping, how big do the rainbows get? Hopefully someone has answered that by now. I'll know in a few minutes when I finally catch up. How we doing? 201 viewers. Not too bad. Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate you spending your Wednesday evening here at Dan's Fish. Okay, got a lot of rainbow entries. Guys Aquatics, thanks for posting a link to my store. If folks want to see what I have available for sale, there it is. Fishkeeper Alley. Okay, what's the video called? I don't know. If you put in Dan's Fish and Corydoras, I'm sure it'll pop up. Or someone will probably link it below. I don't remember the title. Like a video I made 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember. Okay. Let's see here. I think I left a bunch of people hanging. I am sorry about that. Yeah. So, guys, chat jumped a ton and I can't get back up. So if I missed your question or comment, please post it again. So now would be the time. Now is when you do post it again, right? If I missed it. So, yeah. Holy cow. What is going on with VJ? Wow. Hang on. What is this person doing? If VJ is being too bad, and I can't really tell from just this, but mods, if VJ is really being disruptive, just feel free to take care of that problem forever. Oh, you did. Good, Candy took care of it. Knew she would. Chandra Sakar, what are your meds in quarantine for internal, external parasites? I was, see, first of your series, but the second part was missing. Oh, it was? Internal and external parasites. There's a lot of them, but some kind of formalin-based ick medicine, that could be Hikari Ick-X or Mardel Fritz Quick Cure, metronidazole, praziquantel. Those are good base. Others you can do are flubendazole and levamisole. So depending on what you're trying to treat, I think the best thing to do would be to, if you're really trying to figure out more about medicine, is if you can sign up for the Aquarium Vet Internet Conference. You can go to the aquariumvet.com, and they have this conference they do where actual veterinarians talk about fish diseases and fish care and fish medicines and things like that. And in those presentations, there'll often be a chart that lists, here's the medicines and here's the right doses. The last one they did was all about parasites, and there were lists of the different parasites and the different medicines that are effective treatments for those parasites. So we tend to think, I don't know why, but we tend to think of fish medicine as something to treat any sick fish. It's like, my fish is sick, I'll treat it with, I don't know, Ick-X, right? Why? Because it's acting sick. Okay, does it have an external parasite? I don't know, it's acting sick, and so I put in the fish medicine, right? And where we're trying to get, and I'm still trying to get there too, this is by no means a finger wag. This isn't that. Where we're trying to get is figuring out, okay, I've at least narrowed it down to probably an external parasite or internal parasite or bacterial infection, some general thing. And so I'm going to use a medicine that treats the thing I think it is, right? Or better yet, okay, I see something there. I'm going to actually do a little research and see if I can narrow it down as much as possible so that we kind of stop the sick, fish is acting sick. I happen to have this medicine, or it's what I can find at the fish store or whatever. I'm going to use that. I don't have a clue what the fish has, but it'll make me feel better to treat the fish with it. Now, sometimes that's all you can do, and I get it. Again, this is not a finger wag. But we have to be aware that anytime we're treating a fish, we are putting stress on that fish. So medicines that we introduce to fish systems are metabolized by their liver or kidneys, right? So it's like us. If we go out drinking, then we feel pretty hungover sometimes, right? It's because all that is being metabolized by our internal organs, and that is rough on those organs. It's a lot of work for them, and it can do damage to them. Fish medicines are no different. So when at all possible, let's please do as much as we can. And again, I realize it's not like we have a fish vet around the corner that we can call like we do for a cat or dog, right? But in general, let's try to avoid just dumping any random medicine in when a fish seems sick. Let's really try to at least be able to categorize it a little bit and make an educated guess, because we are going to stress the fish by medicating them, right? Now, are there some exceptions to that? Yes. When I import fish, I'll often prophylactically treat them, just because I know that if I don't, I can have problems. Does that add stress to the fish? Yes, it can. But if I don't do it, I have repercussions. But I'm doing it for a specific reason, right? And kind of know what the result will be generally using those medicines in the quantities I do. So anyway, just a thought about that. When I guess that popped into my mind because there's been so many posts I've seen lately on Facebook and things where someone is, what's wrong with my fish? And they post a grainy picture and they say, I've been treating with this. It's like, I don't see anything even remotely connected to the medicine you're treating with. So you're actually, putting stress on your fish in and the medicine you're using isn't going to treat, I don't know, ick or whatever they have. Anyway, off the soapbox, sorry about that. Okay, I am looking here. It looks like I missed a bunch of stuff that suddenly reappeared. Wow. YouTube Studio is being funny tonight. John's Fish Room. Hey, in Aquarium Co-op, they sell Pogostemon stellatus octopus. Why does it look different than the pogo in back of you, different species? Nope, it's probably because of how it's trimmed. Well, okay, so two things. If it hasn't converted to underwater yet, it'll look different. But if it has... Oh, hang on. I wasn't planning on using this camera, so I didn't... Woo, sorry. I really have it freed up. Let me get it so I can get close to the tank. Sorry, that's got to be... Hope I didn't just give anyone, like, the dizzies. Okay, there we go. So, this looks like that because I trim it a lot. So it becomes this kind of dense hedge, right? This Pogostemon stellatus octopus, same plant, actually taken from trimmings of this, just haven't trimmed it a bunch yet, so it's still growing kind of how you would expect it to normally. As that grows up and I start trimming that as well to match this, I'm going to get this dense green hedge all the way across here. And hopefully the Ludwigia back there grows up in back of it, so we have some red in back and a green hedge in front. But it's just because of how I trimmed it. It's the same species. These are the exact same plant. These were taken from that. They just haven't been trimmed. So just, I don't know, think topiary, I guess. And who among us doesn't think topiary? Chandra Akara throwing down $10. Thank you so much. YouTube won't let me scroll further than this, so I see your name and that you threw down $10, but I don't see your question or comment or sticker or whatever. So if there is one, I will get to that in a bit. 8:18. Okay, 12 more minutes. We can do this. Let's see here. Guitar Doc, have you ever gotten a surprise in a shipment that you just couldn't let go? Yeah, I have one right now. I forget the name of it. It's not the Morphotetra, but it looks similar to it. And I had two come in randomly as contaminants in a shipment, and I just love them. I think Menka Wentworth told me what they were a few months ago when this came up in a different live stream, and I forgot the name of them, but they look like a Morphotetra, but they're a lot bigger, and they're kind of like a bright orange on the fins. Really like them. So I never listed them. I've never really shown them or anything. I just keep them as my pets. Darren says, Atia says, you can give away another pair on the next stream. Whew, that sounds awesome. Darren, would you email me that so it gets in my workflow? Because my mind, when I'm live streaming, I'm thinking of like 10 things at once and trying to manage everything so things don't stick in my head. Actually, I can just write a quick note. Another pair of Darren's rainbows next week. Okay, I'll make that like the thumbnail for the live stream next week. Thanks. I really like that fish a lot. Okay. Someone talking about salt being one of the... Oh, there it is. Chandra Akara. You are the best, Dan. One of the best answers I've heard about the meds. I was experimenting to save some fish from Petco, and I really felt the same too. Oh, well, hey. I'm glad the answer was enough to get $10. No, you're welcome. Anytime. And just a guy that likes fish talking about them. Not a veterinarian or anything like that. But I'm glad that occasionally something I say maybe is helpful. So do my best. Okay. Sorry, we got jumping chats here. Munas, don't be doing things that get you timed out, man. We're busy enough that we don't have a lot of time for nonsense. So pretty soon there aren't going to be as many timeouts. It's just going to be like, you're out of here for life. So come on, people. Come on, we ain't got time for that. Guitar Doc 71. Every time you say you are treating a fish prophylactically, I bust a gut. Prophylactic. I'm gonna have to look into that. Again, not a vet. Is it something to do with like birth control? Is that why? Prophylactically. I think I just got it. Whoops. Wait, are you sure? Okay, I know that a prophylactic is birth control. Okay, I gotta solve this. But I believe it's also, it's when you're treating something to prevent something, which is the definition of birth control. Okay, this is taking a weird turn, but I want to see. Yeah, okay, nope, I'm right. It's fun because there's a double meaning, but it is intended to prevent disease, a medicine or course of action used to prevent disease. Yeah, so that's, I'm good. In common parlance, yes, oftentimes people will talk about birth control as a prophylactic. Which when you think about it is a pretty, when you think about what prophylactic actually means, preventing disease is a pretty horrible way to describe it maybe, but, or a not flattering way to describe it. But yeah, so prophylactic just means preventing disease. But I'm glad, Guitar Doc, that I could give you a good chuckle. Always happy to do that, especially when it's just unintentional and comes out strange, which often does when I'm speaking. Holy cow! Kaler's Aquatics throwing down $50. Bob Kaler, thank you so much. Love you to death. Appreciate it. Always appreciated, never required, but that is going to make Brenda smile like crazy when I tell her. Thank you. And I see another one here. Is this Tiffany White? Tiffany, good to see you. Shout out to all the awesome mods. When my mods do good, I get $5. This business model is amazing. Tiffany, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Wait. Okay, yeah, I think I didn't miss one, did I? Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Atreus Kind 173173. How long does it take water wisteria to change and grow out underwater? Mine hasn't made much progress and I don't know how to grow it quickly. Okay, you're talking to a guy who does pretty good with fish. When it comes to plants, I'm bad. I tried water wisteria once and I managed to kill it even though it's supposedly one of the more unkillable plants. So I'm probably not the guy to answer your question. I'm sorry. If someone here does know the answer to that, I know there's several plant nerds in here. Would you respond so that Atreus Kind gets an answer? Because I feel bad, but I can tell you about Java Moss, I can tell you about Water Sprite, and Java Fern and a couple other things. Duckweed, but that's about it. Okay, and Tiffany, I agree. The mods are amazing. Yeah, thanks for shouting them out. They deserve it for sure. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, that whole prophylactic thing got the chat going, didn't it? For some reason, I feel like my chat is not catching up, so I'm going to. I gotta re-pop it out. It's like freezing on me. All kinds of, you know, we went a long time without technical difficulty. Sound's been good. All this stuff has been good, but apparently we were due, and now there's been some issues tonight. But whatever. We're almost done. We've made it. 229 people watching. It's funny how we get more viewers as we get closer to the giveaway at the end. What you don't know, folks, is I already did a giveaway. So we already gave away the Java Moss, and now we're going to be giving away a pair of albino Millennium rainbow fish, which is super cool. Which, oh, I have to do this. Darren, whose name I always butcher the last name, so I apologize. But here's the store. Here is Darren's store. Datayev 1. 29 items, so that's pretty good. here's all the stuff Darren has for sale. I just want to shout him out really quickly since he was kind enough to provide a giveaway today. And we'll be providing another one next week. Look at that. You're getting $30 worth of fish plus shipping on top of that for free because Darren is generous. Yeah. So there's his store. Just a quick plug. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Got to oh, it's not F1, it's FL. I can see that now on this page. Data Yeffel. Again, I'm sure I butchered it. I apologize. Totally unintentional. Okay. We have 3 more minutes, so I'll get one more question. Oh, the wig? Yeah. Well, I trimmed the wig, so the wig's gone. Now we've just got... I could do this, and now the sword plant can be my wig. There we go. There we go. Looked like that little lemur in Madagascar now. One more question, and then we will cut it off. Actually, we'll get too long. We're going to cut it right here. So the giveaway for the rainbow fish is going to happen right now. And the winner is Rich Lidstrom. Rich, congratulations. You have won a pair of albino rainbow fish from Darren. Please respond in the next minute or so. Let us know you're here, and you will be the proud winner. Thanks for playing. And please email me, dan@dansfish.com, with your first and last name. Actually, I don't need that because I'll just forward you to Darren. So email me, say, I'm the dude that won the albino Millennium Rainbow Fish, and I'll connect you with Darren, and he can get your email address or your mailing address and all that and figure all that out. So you're still waiting. I am here. Awesome, Rich. Congrats. I think that's awesome. Darren, thanks again. That really is one of the fish that when I walk into a fish store or something, I always stop at the tank because they just draw my eye. They're so bright. Again, they're like sunlight incarnate. They're just so bright and beautiful. So I think that's amazing. Thanks for adding on to tonight's giveaway. Everyone, thanks for being here. To my amazing mods, thank you again. Appreciate you sincerely. Pam, I hope you feel better soon. I hope I get to see you this weekend. But if not, I get it. Take care of yourself. Do what you got to do. Pam's stream is next. That's Punchy Paints. Goes on about 9 o'clock, so in about half an hour or so. It's a good time, good stories, a good chill way to end the night. So, well, unless she starts going, then it ain't so chill, right? Anyway, thanks to everybody who commented and made this lively. All you lurkers, I'm with you, Lurker Nation, and everyone watching on the replay, thanks again. I'll see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, and next Friday, hopefully we get that nice big import in, and I got some cool stuff for you in a couple weeks. Anyway, till next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.